Yo, this is Sean the Sean. It's Philly.
Airitoutradio is the queen of internet radio. Make sure y'all check out the website, airitoutradio.net. I am here with the one and only Seany Sean. Hey, from NY. Yeah. Songwriter, you know what I'm saying, actor. Getting his acting on and all that stuff. How are you?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you asking. I'm here. I'm alive. I'm smiling. That's all that matters.
I know. Thank you for coming on time. By the way, I gotta give you your props for that because you came on time. Some artists don't. Appreciate that so much.
No, I appreciate you even being open towards me doing this interview.
Always.
Really dope though. I appreciate that.
Always. I told you I like that jacket.
Thank you. So, I appreciate that. I love the hat too. The Airitoutradio.
Okay.
With the burgundy.
With the burgundy. Right. So shout out to Lady Crawley. She's always dope and a pleasure to connect me with other artists. I appreciate that. All right. So for those that do not know, you did have a different name. It was J. Sean from the beginning, right?
Yes.
Okay. How long ago did that happen? When did you decide to change it?
Well, first off, when I started rapping, everybody in my neighborhood started calling me J. Sean, so it was easy because my last name starts with a J, and so I changed to J. Sean. So I started rocking out with that because I did a lot of freestyles in my neighborhood, just out rapping people and stuff like that, just tapping into from a lyrical standpoint of view. I gave my barber a CD, and I kept recording songs, but it was one song that I did, and I said, Sean, get you hooked and hypnotized. And he just bugged out and nah, that should be your name. Because there was another artist out there by the name of J. Sean. He was a British singer during that time. He was signed with Young Money. So it was a conflict. So I wasn't too sure. I didn't know the business like that. So I didn't want my name being mixed up with the British singers. So I decided to change it to that. But ever since then, I ain't had no regrets. Everybody kept calling me Seany Sean, and then my family kept calling me Seany, so it came together as an alignment.
So you have 3 brothers and 2 sisters?
Yes.
Okay. And they all live in NY too?
Yes.
Okay. Does any of them do any music?
No.
No? You the only one?
Yes.
Okay.
My older brother has a film company by the name of Jenkins Brothers Nation. So he's been doing film since 2011 all the way until now. And he's the only person and myself that's doing entertainment based on what we love and how we put our dedication and energy into it, because we see a bigger outcome besides just, living a regular life and working a 9-to-5 jobs, take care of our families and stuff like that. But I think me and Young Jeezy might be related.
Yeah, you better find out.
His real name is Jay Jenkins.
Right, you better find out. Bang Out
Music Group. So he's a producer. I knew for many years. I interned for him back in 2008 when I was 19. Mm-hmm. So he produced a lot of incredible records. His resume is long. So I interned for him, but I never told him that I rap, because I wanted to learn the business of the music industry. So he found out later on when I created my EP in the beginning, and I don't know how he got hold of it. So it was just one day I'm on my email. He found out you do rap? He's I heard your CD is dope. So it's kind of creepy to me because I never told him. And one day he brought me to the studio and he had 5 producers and he played about 10 beats. And I rapped through all 10 beats. They were surprised, he was interested in working with me, and ever since then we still in contact.
So the bad guy is in the building. You know what I'm saying? Everybody loves a villain. Who's your favorite villain?
He likes Luther.
Okay. Why him?
Smart, likable, very strategic on his business, and he also too he's a mastermind on organization and getting certain people together to go against one person that he despises. So it's he has this this entrepreneur aura about himself, but he just had this enemy, this look about himself I don't care, I want power.
Do you think Ghost is alive?
I think he's dead.
What?
I think he's dead.
You know if they don't have no body, then...
Nah, I think he's dead.
Why do you think he's dead? They ain't had nobody. Nobody was ever song.
Only reason why I think he's dead because they, prior to the end of the scene where Tariq shot him in his chest, and Tommy got up and left the body. I think Stars made that happen. Like, you know what, you had your time. Thank you, but we're moving on to the next sagas of power.
Who you think Tariq was talking to at the end? Did you see the last episode?
I think he was talking to Tommy.
That's what I think too.
That's just my humble
That's
opinion.
what I think too. Did you like Tommy's episode?
False, I really didn't watch it.
I didn't like it.
I
wasn't feeling it.
I feel like they made his character dry. Yeah. After him teaming up with Ghost and stuff like that, it was more intense with him. But once they gave him his own show, the writers made it dry.
What's the difference between NY artists and other artists? New York artists and everybody else.
Well, New York artists, it's more like New York artists is more intense. We have the natural ability of just creating things out of thin air and just doing things and based on practice and dedication and time. And that's why we so relentless on going after what we want to go after compared to other artists. Other artists, they, obviously they have better relationships with their own community than New York artists. I can say that because other people from other states, they stick together. New York artists don't stick together. Oh, you nicer than me, but I can't have you team up with me because I gotta have this territory over here. It's more like, this is my block. You gotta prove yourself. It's just like over the top. So it's all ego driven.
Is it easier to get on in New York or Atlanta?
I would say Atlanta.
Yeah?
I would say Atlanta. Atlanta, if you're a New York artist that's like very skillful and you go into Atlanta and you rapping in the same beats as them, but you hearing the clarity and the dedication, I feel like you gonna and if you're marketable based on looks, I believe that you're gonna get on faster.
You go through a lot of phases with your hair. I was telling you this earlier.
Right.
Is there a distinctive one? Because the one in the back is different. I didn't even know that was you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It looks so different. Explain about the hair, phases again, because I know you told me behind the scenes.
So usually I do like a regular cut and then my fades. Like, I love my fades, but when it comes to wintertime, I usually want to grow it out, have it curly, do the taper, and then make a transition to grow my hair out just a little bit and then cut it. But this time it's more like I wanted to go back into the braids because I had braids when I was 13. So it took me about like a year and a half to grow my hair.
Do you have a specific favorite that you like to rock?
Well, my haircut?
Mm-hmm.
I'll say the fade.
Yeah. I know you said your favorite song was Blinking Out.
Yeah.
Okay. Why that song?
Well, I remember that you played the song at Airitoutradio back in February, so I appreciate that. Shout out to you. I wanted to give it in a sense of the feeling back how New York City was before the pandemic, because when you go to the New York City nightlife, people go to the club, they either buying drinks or they buying a bottle. You're surrounded by your peers. They playing dope music. You taking shots. You even taking shots. You taking the bottle to the head. Usually you hear the frequency and you blank out.
Blank out.
So people like, oh, I blanked out. Like, so I constantly had that concept. So I was like, you know what? Let me just make a song that's relatable.
In that song, you have a bar, something about the bad guy.
Well, I said, in the city, I'm a bad boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have a balance.
Considering what's going on with the bad boy.
I don't have no comment with that.
Okay, that's where I was going with that. I was like, you still want to say?
Nah, I have no comment. I'm just making a reference based on myself. I can't speak on the situation, but
no association with it. Yeah.
But
do you feel like you got to conduct yourself a little differently because of like partying wise and being? I know you got a girlfriend and everything, but going out and partying and doing certain things. Do you feel like you got to change up how you conduct yourself due to all the stuff that's going on with Diddy and everything?
Well, that's a good question. Well, usually it depends. Like it depends on the environment. Depends on the type of scenery that I want to be comfortable in. So usually I go to like high end restaurants where it's not so lively with all the mixy energy and stuff like that. So I like to just network with people, vibe with them, connect with them, whether I'm talking about music or I'm talking about other things. Me hanging out with my cousin, it just be normally just be me and him just hanging out.
One of them is your cousin? One of them are your cousin?
Yeah, Q.
Okay.
They got the clothing. Shout out to him.
Okay, Q. No, because it be like guilty by association, because some of the people is just guilty by association with him. You know what I mean? You just be at the same party, and then now you in the whole mix.
Right. That's why you got. That's why I keep if I'm talking to somebody that's if I know that they doing some with activity, I keep the conversation short. Like, all right, it's a pleasure meeting you. I'm going, and then I normally let my cousin know, like, yo, we out.
Okay, so you got the song Bobby Brown.
Like, I'm a fan of Bobby Brown, obviously, and it just gave that feeling, that retro 90s feel. So I basically, wanted to use, Bobby Brown as the artist, and I was like, you know what, let me just create a version of what I like, what relates to me. So I just wanted to do that for the ladies that's listening, that want to hear some good music.
What do you think about when people make fun of Bobby Brown? Because they make fun of him now because he be out there performing, he be dancing all, he's not himself because he's older and everything, and he be making fun of him.
Right. Oh, listen, he don't care. He getting paid. Like, people that's laughing, you gotta think about it too. People that's laughing at him, they broke. You gonna sit in the sidelines laughing at somebody, and you sit back watching this person being that's entertaining you, and you laughing, and he's getting paid, and when he go home, he's sleeping better at night.
Did you like him with no audition, or you like him solo?
Both.
So you like 50 Cent, Rakim, Big Daddy King, Cameron, and Big L.
Right.
They kind of influenced you. You were saying something about Big Daddy King made you change your whole perspective of music and how you rap. You study his whole craft pretty much, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because when I started rapping, I had to go back and revisit the history of hip hop when it started, which was like 1979, all the way until now.
You went back on it, 1979?
Yeah, because you gotta know the history of why hip hop really was started, and you ask an artist like when hip hop started, 9 times out of 10 they may not know. So
you would definitely get an A in the history. You would definitely get an A. It was 1979.
Yeah. So when I started studying Kane, I was in Harlem Children's Zone in Harlem, and he was an older guy. He was a music teacher. He was teaching about hip hop and had us watch like movies like Wild Style and Beat Street and stuff like that. So I'm so mesmerized watching the movies. So I was just like, let me do my history on Big Daddy Kane. So when I started watching his videos, I was like, yo, this guy's from Brooklyn. He got the high top fade, the cut in his eye. He got this gold chain. He a dark skinned, smooth dude, and he rapping lyrical. I said, that's unheard of. I'm like, what? I'm like, this dude's from Brooklyn? Because he remind me of a Harlem dude at first. And like, he just like mad smooth. So when he started rapping fast, I wanted to learn that. I wanted to emulate his whole style. And then along with Rakim, with that balance. So as I started like just studying him, it changed my writing ability a lot. Because constantly when you keep listening to something, it's in your head. When I heard that intro on the album, he said, the game plan, C-Town, that's my main man, never bring luggage, we go shopping when the plane lands, run with the same clan, used to be a Kane fan, everything I rock is name brand. I was like, whoa. I'm like, compound syllables and just how he formatted the rhyme like that, I was like, nah, who is this dude?
New coming artists that's coming up that don't do their homework, should they know the history of rap or no?
No, they should. They should, because, rap stands for rhythm and poetry.
Ooh, so look at you. Look at you.
So they should know the history of rap and why it came about. You gotta know.
They
like,
don't.
You gotta know the elements, right? You gotta know like the 5 elements, right? You got the DJ, the graffiti artist, the breakdancer, the rapper, and the way you dress, because those are the 5 elements based on how you give out into the world and you influence the world based on those 5 elements.
What do you think about showcases? Because artists say, I'm tired of showcases. I don't want to do no showcases no more.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. It's good if you're going through it based on artist development. So if you unsure how to handle the microphone, know your voice, know how to control the crowd, then I think a showcase is better for you, right? Now, for the artists that's sick of doing showcases, you gotta go out now, network with the booking agent, let them know I have an EPK, I have a performance video so you could be able to see. So I want to be an opening act. So you gotta promote yourself and promote yourself as a brand and as a product. So my only advice I could say for any artist that's sick of showcases, go to the venues that does hip hop and put yourself out there. And if not, and then if you're unable to be an opening act, you gotta put up your own money. Find a venue. Find out how much the venue costs. Find out how much the microphone costs. Find out how much the DJ costs, and create a budget. You book all that, and then the people that actually rock out with your music, they're gonna come. Now,
so me and you got a lot in common, because your mother was, rehabilitated, and you were raised by your grandmother. Do you think that if you was raised by your mother that you would have a different story?
I think the story probably would have been the same. I think the story probably would have been the same because, I do have a close relationship with my mother, and she plays a major part into my music career because she had her music. That's why you say Bobby Brown. She used to bump
the Bobby Brown
hard in New Edition. So it's like, forget about it. You got that energy over there, and then you have the energy of my grandmother, which she was playing Teddy Pendergrass, Marvin Gaye, Luther, Anita Baker. So you got that energy as well, because all that soulful music. Right. So you blend both of them together, and then my mother bumping God, hype music and stuff like that. New Jack Swing, probably going back old school. But I just took those aspects and just formulated it into my own niche.
You had a speech impairment, right?
Yes.
You never said how you had it.
I wound up developing that probably because I don't know what actually happened, but I just do know that it was difficult for me to be ready for the real world because, I had a lot of insecurities as a young kid, so, you have your thoughts going 100 miles per hour, you're trying to express your feelings, but your words may trip up. So
how long did it take you to get
all the way until I was 13? And
so it started from when to
I was a kid, and then but the only thing that understood me was hip hop music. So the crazy thing about it, when I was 3, I was watching my mother told me that I was getting excited when I seen LL Cool J videos. Mama said knock you out.
Right.
I was saying just those lines alone. And she nah, he know how to talk.
He not talk. Get out of here. Ain't nothing wrong with him.
Ain't nothing wrong with him. He know how to talk, but it's like hip hop was more mesmerizing towards me because I was emulating what was being put out there and stuff like that. So when I was 13, I fell in love with words, and I started learning big words, and I wanted to study the words, and I started reading poetry, and then I tap danced. And at a performance art school called Watley. So it was a performance art school where my skill set came into play. So when I was doing poetry, I was tap dancing. And then... You
was tap dancing?
Yeah.
Okay.
At 13. So...
Did you get made fun of?
No? Absolutely not. It's a performance art school.
Okay.
So it had theater, it had music, it had poetry, and it had art. So all that came into play. So
And I keep forgetting because tap dancing was kind of cool, like later down the road.
Yeah.
You know, when they like brought that in later. So yeah, you good. What do you want to do after you put the mic down?
I see myself being like an entrepreneur, being behind the scenes and just giving other young people an opportunity just to know the history of music. And I don't think I'll ever put the mic down because you gotta think about it too. The speech impediment led me to do rap music. So, well, music always been a part of me. Well, it's one thing that I forgot to mention that when I was 8, that's another reason when I was 8, I played the saxophone. So, when all that tied up to me doing music. So I think music has always been a part of me, and I think it will never leave.
So you got the merch and everything, which you didn't bring me, but that's okay.
That was an accident. But it's downstairs. You want to get the merch before we leave out of here.
Okay. So if they go to the website, it's on the website, right?
Yes.
If they go to the website and they download your music, then they get a free merch or something like that? Okay.
So the website is at www.SeanySeanMusic.com, where you can actually go to the website, download the music, and then once you download the music, you screenshot it, you send it to me, and then you get I ship you a free merchandise.
Who's your Mount Rushmore of New York?
Difficult question, but first person that come to mind, I'll say Jadakiss. I'll say Benny the Butcher, Bottle, they say Nemo Man, myself.
I was wondering if you gonna say it. So you took 8 acting classes, right? You took an electricity class?
Yeah, that was 2017.
Okay. What else do you have under your boat?
I have my OSHA license. I have my CDL license.
Damn! Wait a minute, ocean license, what's that?
Your OSHA license.
OSHA,
yeah, basically leads you to do construction or electricity.
Okay.
So you need that in order to move up to upper levels to get your HVAC, your heating, your air conditioner.
Wow.
Yeah, so I went through that process to get my OSHA license, and then I took up electricity course, and I obtained a certificate for that. Then led on to me getting my CDL license.
Are you using any of them now?
Yeah, I work for outside of music. I work for New York City Transit. As an operator. I operated for the buses.
Do people recognize you and be like, "Yo"?
Yeah, I get that sometimes, but like for the music, no.
Yeah, no. He said no.
For the music, no. But you
will after this Big L joint pop. You know what I mean?
Y'all won't.
So let's get into the Big L. I know you were elected to do the Big L biopic. So is that official?
Right now, it's being worked on.
Okay.
I built a relationship with Donald Finney. Shout out to him. That's the oldest brother of Big L, along with Big L himself and Big Lee. R.I.P. to both of them. And after that, me and Dawn had a relationship back in 2017. But we never talked about like any projects and stuff like that. I just wanted to build the relationship with him based on the history that I knew about, his brother deceased and stuff like that. So 2020 came into play. His nephew, Little Lee, which is Big Lee's son, connected with a person from Atlanta, and the person from Atlanta wanted to work with him and the older brother. But Little Lee died during the process, so R.I.P. to Little Lee. He got killed in 2019. So Dawn gave that person a shot to see what he could be able to do. He put the pilot together very well, and I can't say he did a bad job behind it. His name is Just Days, and but Dawn had another agenda, and I guess that he's the person that controls the estate. So whoever controls the estate has to say so.
Wow.
So they both had a disagreement, and then Dawn pulled the plug. So ever since then, Dawn been just working on something, wanting to work on a documentary, and me and him been talking about it. He said that don't worry about it once everything set in stone. I'm playing a role. It's like out of his own mouth. So I was like, okay, I appreciate the opportunity. Because he told me a long time ago that I'll remind him of his little brother.
You feel like conspiracies of how he passed away is true as far as like something to do with his brother, or do you think it was rap beef?
No, it was something to do with Big Lee.
Okay.
Don told me out of his mouth that it was a situation that, Lee was in, and he wanted to decease all his crew members. And he hired a alleged shooter to do the job, but got L involved to point the person out, and then things basically backfired, and word get around in the streets like, you with this person, guilty by association, and they caught L slipping. And that was the same week that Dame was going to make that announcement that L was signed to Rockefeller.
Right. What do you and Big L have in common?
Just that the quietness, the slick talk attitude. When I heard him rap, I could feel like the passion, the grit that what he's saying is believable. So it's almost like he had a combination of Pac and Big formed in one. Pac is very passionate. When he say something, it's from here. Big had flow, had metaphors. So you combine that two together, I feel like he was on that same playing field as them. So that's why I feel, because I'm influenced by all three of them. So when I hear all three, it's the relatability.
You mentioned that you missed the old school era of like having the groups, the hip hop groups. If you had to put together a group of the rappers right now, who would you put together in a 3-man group, hip hop group?
So I definitely put Rick Ross in my clique. We put 50 in my clique, because they both have like that hustlers music that I could vibe to. And I would say Young Jeezy.
What would you say is the worst thing that happened to you, like on stage performing?
Chuck had me and my brother perform, and I was so sick, and my voice was like so raspy. I had a fever. And
you had a fever and you was performing?
I had a fever. I couldn't deny this shit.
Trying to get everybody else sick, right?
Yeah, I was like, nah. I was like, nah. It's like, and he paid me. Shout out to Charlie Cash. He did pay me. Just went to the bar, asked for Jack Daniel honey with lemon.
Oh my God.
Just, took a shot for that, and then I had to do my best performance, best way as I can, just rapping word for word. And after that, when I got off the stage, my voice gave out.
Oh, I thought you was going to say you threw up.
No, my voice gave out. That was still the worst feeling I ever felt.
Really?
But I still did the job.
Have you ever had writer's block?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
How did you overcome it?
Just going through life experiences. And I got to go through something in order to talk about it. Whether it be good, bad, or indifferent. So if something's making me happy and I saw like just, I'm at work and I'm just like, something just come to me, or a song, then words stay popping up in my head.
Yeah. What do you think about podcasts, like rappers becoming podcasters now? Do you think that, is that cool to jump in other lanes, like artists trying to be DJs or whatever, promoters or whatever, or should they just stay in the rapper lane?
No, I feel as though that it expands their brand a little bit more broader now, because it's like, you'll find out about who is that person as an individual and who they actually are as a person. So being a musician it's not enough now. It's like you have to branch out and do other things so people can know who you actually are. Great example, you got people like Cardi B. Nobody didn't know she rap, but it was her personality that stuck out to her. And then when people actually heard her music, it gravitated to her even more. Same thing with Nipsey Hussle. People knew that he rapped, but he was more big on talking about financial literacy, building up the communities, just being heavily involved. So you gotta be multi-talented instead of just being one-dimensional. Be put on this earth just not to be one-dimensional, because it's like God didn't give us that talent.
What do you think about the female, perspective of what's going on right now? Do you think, because some some men feel like the females is doing too much. They're talking about too much sexuality, and they're belittling the female in general. What do you think about that? I think I got him. Oh, what? He said, well,
it's sad to say this. I'm gonna say this though.
Break it down.
Every man like a whole mentality.
Mm-hmm.
It makes the world go around. And plus two, you go to the strip club, all you hear is ratchet music, and that's what they want to hear. But that's the frequency, and you just gotta think about it like this, like, nobody don't want to hear a lot of talking about something positive and whatever it case be. It may not fit towards their frequency. You're like, oh, what?
They love a bad girl too.
Yeah. It's like the whole mentality of, because with the female artists, what they doing is promoting whole mentality music.
Mm-hmm.
So it's beneficial, but it's also dangerous at the same time too, because you constantly hearing that frequency over and over and over again. You basically brainwashing the next generation that's coming up. You can't even blame them. You got to blame the corporations for promoting that.
Right. Now they say that, the men will blame the women, but the women are not running the industry. So whose fault really is it?
It's the corporation.
The corporation. Okay. Because they be like, it's all women's fault.
No, it's a corporation.
But who's the corporation?
You got to think about the major companies that got these artists that sign, that's telling them what to do, telling them what to promote, telling them what's going to sell, what's not going to sell. We got to keep feeding the agenda from their perspective. I'm pretty sure that rappers like Lotto and Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B don't want to promote records like this but they being told what to do and they getting paid. So they like, you know what? I got a family feed. I got to just, listen to the corporation, because they're looking at them as, that's my daddy. I got to listen to what my daddy say. And he's paying me.
Is there anything else that you would like people to know that they do not know about Seany Sean?
One thing about Seany Sean, he's an innovator and also a goal-orientated, always trend-setting. So that's my goal, that stands for GOAT.
GOAT, okay.
Goal-orientated, always trend-setting. That's me.
You gonna steal LL John?
You gotta get free rap somehow.
All right. It's definitely a pleasure having you. Airitoutradio. It's the queen of internet radio, Seany Sean.
Yes.
Straight out of NY.
Yes.
Harlem. Okay. We out. Airitoutradio.